good to see you, my Italian beauty. Mike Moon, how you doing? Guys, you got a pink ticket, please cash in. Damn, we got a lot of Carlos. I don't even know why you have a pink ticket. You've been around me for years. Akima, good to see you. Dr. Lorna, good to see you, Dr. Lorna. William, Lumi, I don't like Lumi. I'm going to throw you out because I don't like you. I think you're an asshole. How about that? But guys, if you want to come up, raise your hand. We're going to go popcorn style. All I ask is that you respect the one mic policy. Thank you.
This is hilarious to get like no content.
Hola, my Italian future ex-wife. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Merry Christmas, everybody, and Happy New Year. That was not a surprise about John Kitover.
Everybody's talking about John Kitover.
I mean, it seemed to be wacky enough. And I mean, I've been in politics for many years. That's not the way you do campaigns. He is obviously doing something else. But yeah, I mean, nobody
got political activism, bitch.
I live in Italy. Maybe international police. I don't know. It was totally expected.
Did you donate to him?
Oh, no, I did not. I'm overseas. I mean, I can't donate to somebody that is not in it. I think it would be illegal, I suppose.
Well, I'll tell you, I donated $400. I was the top contributor to his campaign. I did it really because as a favor for Roger. But, you know, Roger's not around anymore. So, of course, when the shit hits the fan, Roger likes to duck.
Yeah, I suppose. But like I said, I mean, it's he is. I mean, what am I talking about in the past? He's an interesting character, but certainly not a politician, for sure.
I got to tell you, Paolo, I don't know if he's less crazy than Donald Trump or Nancy Pelosi. I think he's crazy, but then again, look who we have around. Do you think Donald Trump is normal? You don't think he did some kind of campaign bullshit?
Well, I don't know. Time will tell. I don't think he's crazy. No, not at all.
This is going to be first in line to sue me at the civil.
As far as is concerned, he has other motives. I mean, obviously...
Have you heard of this thing called artwork?
You don't record every single room, an open room with no people at all. It's, you know...
Who would open a room for himself?
We don't know, but that's what I think.
He opened rooms with an alias for someone who never comes here and pretended to be him.
I don't know, man. I don't think, if anything, as off his rock as he is, this might stoke him to open more rooms. And, you know, for me, I always, like, there's somebody who always comes into my space, this young lady, and she's like, you know, the only reason I don't come to your stage is because I don't want to be recorded. And I would be like, yo, it's no big deal, who cares? And then we find out he's probably selling all this info. If he's selling my info, I want my piece. Right? Holly?
I mean, I'm going to be honest, he's not going to like this if he hears this, but I'm kind of happy the FBI is watching him because I would not put it past him to do something violent for the sake of our country. He is so passionate about this country and about...
I have a peaceful personality. That could be projection.
It needs to be
projection alert.
Redone in his image. I wouldn't put it past him to do. I would not be surprised one bit if I saw his face on my Fox News. I'm sorry, but I'm kind of happy FBI's watching.
Do you think just from your interactions with him, I don't know if I see John as a violent person. You might be right. I mean, look at that lunatic that killed Charlie Kirk, right? Just a normal-looking kid who just lost his fucking marbles and killed Charlie Kirk. Do you think that not just him, there's other people on this app that would take it to the next level and actually commit violence in the name of politics?
I mean, I'm sure if I sat here and really thought, but he's the one, if I could just pick one, that's the one that comes to mind.
Well, that's what you assholes are gossiping about me.
Literally all he does all day is this. He's clearly not normal.
pretty intense libel slander for a candidate running for Congress, ladies and gentlemen.
He is very, very, very passionate about this country.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I'm violent, you stupid
I
bitch.
think there's more than that.
I advocate for peace and education in the book club, ladies and gentlemen.
As he is, and using a fake campaign to raise money.
A fake campaign to raise money.
I ran for Congress, bitch.
Chance of winning. I mean, there's a lot of problems with him recording, pretending to be Adrian Dittman, who's never been here.
Salty about Adrian Dittman.
That's just a iceberg.
This is what I would like to call critical mass, ladies and gentlemen. We have achieved notoriety.
Employment interviews on YouTube that never should have been published.
Employment interviews, onboarding circulators.
Devil's advocate for a second. And I'm not looking for smoke with anybody when I bring up this name.
No, and I respect
But no, and I'm going to bring up Pepe's name. Pepe came out and put Roger's real information all over this fucking place.
For sure.
Should he be arrested as well for doing something like that?
If he broke the law, I mean, Pepe we know is a racist and just a problem in general, but that's not illegal to be a racist in this country. So, doxing with malicious intent.
Are they doxing me right now? Oh, maybe they're not, because I'm a public figure who ran for fucking Congress.
That's for someone else to decide.
Fucking idiots. This is too much fun.
I think
that's a state-by-state issue.
It's state by state. I knew someone would say that today.
into chaos.
Oh, I'm fucking dying. This is too much.
Guilty.
Okay, I'm gonna restart some of these YouTube lives.
This one to see the car crash, right? Where are the real rules where we can have real conversations? You know, people are, and I'm gonna tell you this: if John Kitover gets banned from this app for life, somebody's gonna follow in his footsteps right after. There's gonna be another John. There's gonna be another Pepe. So, you know, I think it's all our faults that we empower these people. And like I said, I'm not looking for smoke with Pepe. I can care less. He's irrelevant to me. I'm just using you as an example, Pepe. If you're
He's so irrelevant to Jay Vasica, but he's bringing him up.
So he could, get back on when he was clipped. I don't know anyone who has 50 burger phones.
So David, let me ask you a question. If you're excused from a party, are you going to dress up in costume to try to infiltrate that said party?
I don't go where I'm not wanted. That's my belief.
Yeah, there's no one on the planet like Pepe or John Kitover. Let's be real.
Well,
They're one of a kind.
I'll tell you what, guys, and this is my personal feeling. I don't think anybody in this app gets more anonymouses in their room than I do. Like, I open a room and all these bro, guys, ladies.
But look at what your show's about, Dr. Breska. It's about John Kitover. And then he's peppering Pepe in there. You're peppering a little Pepe. Welcome, Danny. Welcome, John Kitover, Canada Congressman Podcast. I'm getting fucking roasted. I am getting fucking roasted in this room. It's hilarious.
Instagram or Facebook.
They're just doing theirs, right?
Yeah, pretty much, I guess.
I don't see how he's
I don't
getting
think you did fraud.
No, I didn't do fraud. I spent thousands of dollars getting those signatures.
Trying to pursue Russia over Ukraine, and then he walked it back, basically, right? But he has successfully pressured oil infrastructure, and a lot of there was at least, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name. There was a Russian consortium of energy producers that had to. Okay, Jesus Christ. They had to sell and exit European markets really quickly. It was basically a fire sale. So that's one example
what you signed.
that has already happened this year, right? The sanctions are applied, but the sanctions are applied. Like you get a headline that the sanctions applied does not mean it is enforced. Sanction enforcement needs staffing, needs tightening, needs oversight, needs all of those things. And there is basically a lever to these sanction applications, whether it is, yes, you did the sanction law. It does not mean that the enforcement of it goes from 0 to 100. It's, I don't know, it's in the lows right now, right? So over the existing sanction law can be easily upped right, and used more effectively.
My name does mean Mark.
Strategy is so
Well,
motherfucking.
I don't disagree. I just don't know that sanctions can force Russia to end the war. And if we use up, if we use up 100%, then now we have no pressure we can put on Russia to get something that we could get, right? Because we can't get ending the war with sanctions. That's what I'm trying to get across here. More of the same, it's not going to work. So we do need to have a little gas left in the tank so that we can get them to do something. So we have some pressure left to put on them, and that it would be different if we could put, the ultimate pressure, which at one time, our army trained for, which was when Russia invades Europe, then the U.S. Army is going to go in there and kick them out, right? But this doesn't seem to be on the table right now.
I mean, if there is a moment to use the full force of the sanctions, it is right now. I don't know if you're following Russian news. There are Russian military factory bosses self-immolating themselves in the Kremlin Square over the pressure exerted on them by the state. Right? I'm not saying it is like catastrophic and it's about to implode, but the sanctions work to the extent that they have, right? And the short-term military Keynesian state that was delivering the military production and like redirecting all of the economy basically into military output is running so hot that the rest of the economy is breaking down because of it, right? If you look at all of the important metrics on economics in Russia, it is not looking good. Combined with the kind of social upheaval and the firings, suicides, self-immolations of pretty high-level administrators in the state, and increased number of leaks to the press complaining about how all of this is going, they are under a lot of pressure, right? And yes, I don't mean that sanctions can end the war. Of course they don't, but they can get Russia to the negotiating table to at least discuss an alternative to the continuation of the war. The problem is that they are not at the table negotiating. They make all the external kind of platitudes about wanting a deal, and then when they go back to Russia, they say that we don't want a deal, which is what they're saying yesterday and today, right? And there hasn't been a single movement from Russia on any important points of negotiation. They have remained within their initial negotiation framework, within their initial negotiation positions. So the pressure on them is supposed to move them to that point, right? Instead, Trump is doing the opposite, which is relaxing all of those pressures with the small exceptions that I mentioned, right? So that they have actually a wider latitude to stick to their initial position and less reason to move.
Well, I guess I interpret those facts differently. I think what we're seeing is that they are under intense pressure from sanctions, but that doesn't change the way the government is making its decisions, because, the government is not bearing the cost directly. It's the people, captains of industry. So the way I read those facts are different from you, which is, we could put more effort into sanctions, but that's not going to get us what we want. It's not going to change their way of seeing things. And the pressure, the other way you deal with someone who won't change their mind is you take away their ability to continue the war. mechanically, right? And we don't have that option. Not unless we plan to be shooting down nuclear missiles, So then it's like, okay, well, now what? So I read those facts differently from you.
I understand it. You might be right that no amount of sanctions or force, non-military force, right, is gonna make Putin move. The problem is that we don't know until we have tried all the options that do not escalate it to nuclear retaliation or use of non-nuclear forces, right? So there are things on the table remaining, and when else to apply them other than in the kind of crescendo of the negotiations, right? You might be right, and I might be wrong, but neither of us knows until it is tried. And I don't see much of a downside to trying.
399,993. Maybe. I think the basic downside is like is there a downside to putting more pressure on another party when you're engaging with them in negotiations? Certainly not always. In some cases, the pressure can make them persuadable, right? But in some cases, the pressure will embolden them. So
take a picture and TikTok. Pick this up.
Well, sure, but they're already hardened, right? Yeah, but this is kind of the problem: is they're not persuadable. I think is zooming out a little bit. So this is the way dictatorships often are. They will ride. They will go down with the ship. They will take a bad decision all the way to the bottom, and there's not the forces within the society that can oppose them effectively. And then, and that raises other questions, right? Ukraine does seem to be able to get into Russia and disrupt facilities within Russia. So is there an angle there? Probably if anybody understands the Russian secret police system and how to get around it, it's Ukrainians. Them and Belarusians and a handful of other former Soviet countries. Maybe there's another angle there to take, but and all of these things take resources, and but I can't say listening to that I'm listening to go back to what other speakers said, listening to Trump's announcement, do I think progress hasn't been made? No, I'm not encouraged by that. It's a very, very sad situation. It's definitely, we could imagine a slightly different outcome if Ukraine had received more support sooner. Maybe, assuming the support worked out, which is a big question with the way Ukraine operated before. Now Ukraine is more of a blue team army, and so blue team equipment, they can get a lot more out of it than they were getting out of it. But that was a hard evolution all by itself. That was probably 2 years, more or less, of reforming their armed forces before you could really say anything positive would happen.
For 5 hours,
is Trump trying to bring Ukraine
it's
to
just
its
like the
knees
Candace Owens thing. Whenever it came
and
up
trying to bully
about
it to
the
submit
penis
to Russia, basically?
overseas, we didn't have to call it
No,
out and be
we
like,
don't
"You're
have
a
enough
liar,
evidence.
this is stupid,
We
I
don't
can't
have enough
trust you anymore, blah, blah, blah."
evidence.
We just didn't comment on it. You just keep scrolling, and that's the difference. Is you don't have
What did I say? I said I'm not going to cover this, didn't I?
You did. And that's the thing is like, just keep scrolling. But whenever you make such an effort and such an attempt, and not just to make a small comment, but to write out these lengthy letter essays to explain your position on why he's such a bad guy and nobody should trust him. That's
They've never done that in the history of their accounts. But yeah, this time it's different. I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah, I mean, come on. And it's just, it's hi, Lemaire.
Yeah, that's very interesting, though, that it's all aligned.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. She's calling on Lemaire. Go ahead.
Hey, everybody. I was just going to say, I heard the last lady that was speaking that was talking about Mitch's character, and it's horse crap. One of the first things that we all saw after this guy made a statement on Candace Owens is essentially in the political world, opposition research. There was no real concern about what he said. And I would say in the IC, when you're doing what's called source evaluation, it's based on placement and access. There's additional criteria that you look into with respect to a source that you've recruited. But if they make a claim that they were in a location on a certain date and saw something, you first want to make sure, were you actually there to see that thing you said you claimed? And then you look for corroborating information. What that person said they saw, was it actually there? But what the conservative alt media did in alignment was dig up his past. And here's the thing that most people may not know about the Department of Defense. Once you get into the covert realm, and this includes the 18 series, Special Forces, what they call in the Army, you go through what's called an SSBI, Single Source Background Investigation. They dig through your life with a fine-tooth comb. If you are a dirtbag, you are not getting a clearance. 18 series personnel in the U.S. Army also go through what's called the selection process. Psychological evaluation, background investigation, physical evaluation. If you don't cut it, you're done. So the fact that he served in that realm tells you the U.S. government didn't see anything about this guy that was problematic. Not only that, the SSBI is conducted regularly. It's not a one and done. Especially if you're in the operator space, that can be every 3 to 5 years. So if this guy somehow went through the selection process, got his national security clearance, and then became a dirtbag, let's just say he's the walking embodiment of Satan himself. At some point, the SSBI would pick it up and say, hey, you're a risk to national security. Your behavior does not align with what we want in these positions. You're done. But that's not what we saw happen. This is anyone who's ever served in this arena knows there is something that stinks to high heaven about what the right-wing alternative media is doing with respect to this guy. Everyone I talk to that's still in the IC, they're
left military service.
Mitch left military service in 1990.
Don't interrupt him, AB. Mute yourself.
I didn't.
He wasn't finished talking. He was not finished talking. He was still talking.
He left the military in 1996.
I want to respond.
And I'll stop really quickly.
Go ahead.
I'll stop really quickly. The SSBI process has been going on well into the 90s, well into the 80s. It's been going on for a long time. As soon as you get into the secret no foreign and above national security clearance.
As a mute glitch. Double mute. As soon as they get above security clearance, and it should be unmuted now. Go ahead.
Yes, as soon as you get into the secret no foreign and above, we jokingly called it in the IC TS alphabet soup because there's a bunch of caveats and compartmentalization that goes into that. Your life's being scrubbed. And there's also continuous evaluation. So if you go and you get a DUI, that's immediately flagged. If you go and you have some type of negative litigation, you're accused of something, that immediately goes on your record. That's been happening for decades. So when I talk to my friends that are still in the IC, and they're all tracking this because it just doesn't look right, instead of the first question being saying, hey, is there any legitimacy to his claim? It's, oh, he was a bad person. But by that standard, if Epstein were still alive and he spilled the beans on all these global elites that we assume are involved in this, would we not believe him because he's a bad person? These people are full of crap. And as soon as you pushed her diligent, she wanted to run away because she knows it's logically inconsistent what these people are saying. And I'm done.
It's the same thing that they do with Trump, Lamar, but they support Trump.
It's just, but I want to ask.
This is a not.
I wanted to respond to Lamar, and then I said you can go AB. It doesn't take trained individuals to see that, right? It does not take trained. You don't have to be military to recognize that people are, instead of investigating the claim itself, they are investigating the guy's background and doing opposition research in an effort to discredit him before his claim can be thoroughly examined by the public. There is a mass attempt to discredit him. And if anybody knows, that's a label. They're applying labels. What do labels do? They shut down further conversation. So the same way that people say, oh, he's a Jew, can't listen to him anymore. Oh, he's a Palestinian, he's a Gazan, no. Oh, he's a Republican, no. Oh, he's a Democrat, no. As soon as you apply a label to somebody, it is because you don't want to have any more conversation with them and you don't want people to listen to them. When you are telling people you're labeling this guy as a fraud, as an abuser, as this, as that, it is because you want people to see the label and not to see what he's saying. And when I saw that there was a consistent effort at scale to do that, I knew something was wrong. Go ahead, Lemaire.
No, you're 100% right. I don't want to dominate the space. I know the other guy had something to say.
Go ahead, AB.
Yeah, I was just going to say the reason for going after his character, or for people on the flip side trying to defend his character, is precisely because he provided no fucking evidence for his claim besides the fact that he was at the base. And the only thing we know about the fact that he his appearance at the base.
Some evidence.
You're interrupting me in the middle of a sentence. Let me get a goddamn thought across. The only thing we know about his appearance at the base was that the military base was cleared out because they thought he was doing a bomb threat. So it's because he didn't provide any evidence. So the only thing we have to go on is his credibility, positive or negative. And we know that his son calls him an abuser. Hold on. We know that 5 or 6 separate women call.
Hold on. Let's break it up. Except for the evidence.
We know that he inflated
Except for the evidence that he was there.
We know that he was not in hiding from the cartel. We know that he lied both about his personal record, and we know that he's been a...
Okay, so I told you that if you're going to continue to make claims about him, you have to present receipts. Did you do that yet? Did you send me the receipts yet? I don't think I've got them. Let me look in your messages. Let me see. The last thing that was said was Happy Hanukkah, which just finished. Merry Christmas, Diligent. So I don't think...
That was very nice of you, by the way, I have to say.
Yeah.
So just really quickly...
So you didn't... That's why we're evaluating
his character. Because here...
That's a mute glitch.
Double mute, yeah.
No, I did it.
Go ahead, Lemaire. After I don't know why it only gets you. It's not racist, I promise.
Can I speak now?
So just really quickly, the only thing I'm saying is the only thing I've seen people do is asking questions about the validity of his claim. So that's not a defense of his character. I'm willing to grant that this guy.
Is that me or is that him?
It was me. I'm just kidding. I don't know how you just stopped talking. No, I swear I didn't. I'm just kidding.
I think you got a phone call because that's what it sounded like.
No, it said muted by host.
Oh, it was a triple mute. That was probably Zintani. Stop it, Zintani.
So just really quickly, the only thing I'm saying is I'm willing to grant that he's the worst person to ever live in the world ever. That has nothing to do with trying to verify his claim. And as soon as people jump to trying to say, well, bad person said thing, because they're a bad person, it must be false, that tells you that
the onus is on him. The onus is on him to...
Stop interrupting. I don't want to have to keep living through the double mutes. Stop fucking interrupting, AB. I'm going to have to drop it down. Go ahead, Lemaire.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. If you look objectively at this and you apply the same standard to anything else, and I said this to someone today, if we did this same thing to women that made claims about something that happened to them, and we dug through their past and said, well, it looks like you did some unsavory stuff, we shouldn't believe you. Everyone would cry foul. We all know it. But it's okay here. This is not logically consistent. And it's weird that the people that call it out, they're immediately attacked. No one's claiming he's a great person. I just want to know, is what he claimed valid? Well, we know he was in location. We have the blotter.
I want to get your perspective on me highlighting that a lot of these, almost all, if not all of these large-scale influencers who have attacked the investigation into Charlie Kirk and have specifically attacked Mitch Snow's character or the Fort Huachuca, angle, that they are all to get paid sponsorships by Polymarket. I'm not saying that the two are that causation equals correlation here, but I'm noting that they get paid to promote content on their profile as well. Do you think that there's an angle there? Am I being over scrutinous, or is there a possibility of content coordination happening through those same channels?
No, I think you're right, and I think where there's smoke, there's fire. And how I was trained when I was in the IC is when you see inconsistencies that you cannot logically make sense of, you might want to take a look. And just like if I were looking at a foreign nation and something happened in the world, and all of a sudden you have all these media outlets saying the same stuff within a short period of time, at some point you got to ask, hey, is there coordination happening here? Why is it that all of these people are espousing the same exact narrative, attacking the same exact issue? We would call it influence operations. Back in the Soviet era, they called it active measures. So when you look at alternative media and you see this group of people that are pro-TPUSA all come out in concert saying the same thing, attacking the same subject, never really addressing what the person said, I think it's fair to look. I think it's completely fair to look, because firing government, we would do the same thing.
Lemaire, the only thing that's confusing to me is he's the one, he being Mitch/Harry, who made an extraordinary claim. The onus is not on others. The onus is on him to back up his extraordinary claim that he saw the widow.
Extraordinary claim.
His extraordinary claim is that at the military base that he visited, he saw the widow of Charlie Kirk, well, not yet the widow, but now the widow of Charlie Kirk, his head of security, and some random congressman from Nevada. He has provided zero evidence. Put the onus on, and it's literally a rule of logic. It's literally a rule of logic that the person who makes the claim, the onus is on that person. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Let me just finish my sentence. Not only has he... Lemaire, let me finish my sentence. Not only has Harry/Mitch provided non-extraordinary evidence, he's provided zero evidence for anything besides the fact that he was there.
So my question to you is,
you say no evidence.
So my question to you is, do you hold women that make
because nobody cares that Mitch was there? We care whether Erica and the other people were there. Nobody cares.
I don't even hear you guys.
Do you hold women that make claims without evidence to that same standard?
Yes, absolutely. I hold everybody, and especially if a woman says I was gang raped, hypothetically, God forbid.
Then why is it
towards the women? So I do believe actually.
Then why
I hold everyone to the same standard.
Really quickly. Then why is it that you're not questioning the claims of this woman who did the interview with the other alt-right media pundit, making claims about this other guy, and she provided no evidence?
Oh, that's a good question.
Lemaire is the real deal.
She did provide some evidence, and the evidence is that a court, when they held a habeas corpus hearing on him, decided to take away his children. 2 different moms, by the way, not just one mom.
That's not evidence.
And in the records, 5 different women have accused him of abuse, and his own son. That takes a hell of a step.
Haven't you had
I don't know a single person. I don't know a single person, even through association, that has been accused of abuse by 5 separate people and their own son. Not one. And I know a lot of people.
Haven't you been accused of that with another woman, AB? Isn't there some stuff going on around you and some court
You're not
dates?
going to do that in my space, Noxie. Don't do that.
I'm just saying, like, we shouldn't believe that. We have to believe his word.
Don't do that.
The only thing I was going to say is,
I'm not joking.
By that logic, then you believe that President Trump is also a rapist.
We don't do personal attacks in my fucking spaces. My co-hosts, my speakers, myself, we don't fucking do it. Period. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, AB, my question to you is then, by your logic, then President Trump is also a rapist, correct?
No, because you have to analyze every individual accusation or every individual thing, and I did when I first heard about I investigated to my own satisfaction. I investigated all the major claims I could against President Trump, and I found all of them were lacking in evidence, and no court ever sided with it.
He literally had to pay her, didn't he?
Yeah.
No, he didn't have to pay her. He chose to pay her to settle. No. No, you're right. You're right. What's the woman's name? What's the woman's name?
Exactly.
By the way, that's one of the least credible. But yeah, I didn't find them credible. So
you believe it? You believe that happened?
I didn't find those particular accusations credible. And by the way, this is coming from someone. I'm not. Please stop interrupting me. Because I didn't find.
You're quickly stating something and then moving on to the next topic. You can't just disagree with one thing and then completely oppose it to a different situation.
I'm allowed.
Okay, so we are going to pivot to some speakers we haven't heard from yet. I'm getting AB fatigue. Sorry, AB, but you've dominated the conversation for long enough. We're going to go to some of these women who have been waiting for a long time. Heal the divide. Perfect name. Let's go.
Hey, Diligent, thank you for everything. Thanks for the space. I enjoy them immensely. I don't know if you guys spoke about it earlier, but about that article that was, posted from.
That's probably a mute glitch. Fucking AB. That's his fault. Sorry. Heal the divide.
I could go.
Go ahead. She'll be right back.
Can you hear me better, though?
I can. I'll go to you right after her. Go ahead, Heal.
Okay, thanks.
Should be good now.
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yep,
can you hear me?
You're good. Go.
Did you hear, did you discuss the Benton County, the article from April of 2025? Has anyone?
Yeah, the author of the article actually came into my space and told us all about it.
Okay, so what was what are we to make of that?
She said that the local government was corrupt and partially in cahoots with the ex-wife, that there was a relative involved with CPS, and that had some impact on the judgment of him losing custody or not getting custody of the kids to his ex.
So there's corroborative evidence.
I didn't go through
potentially.
I didn't go through and corroborate it, so I didn't spend too much time on it because I need to see more receipts. But I chose the reason why, and this is why I haven't defended Mitch's background. If you haven't noticed, I don't care.
Right.
Okay, I just don't care. It doesn't. I feel like Mitch's background is a straw man argument. They want you to engage in arguing with Mitch's background because you're not talking about what Mitch saw or says he saw or thinks he saw. I think that's what's happened here. And they flexed this massive influencer network to do that, to try to put a giant fucking straw man out there for the skeptics and for the fence sitters to say, don't listen to this guy. He's a shitbag. Argue with me. Here's all the evidence. Here's all the witnesses. Let's spend the rest of the fucking week talking about this. And I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I would actually rather highlight the fact that a lot of these influencers all seem to be getting paid by Polymarket to post their posts. You know what I mean? Like I would rather highlight I would rather highlight the tactics, the methods that make that possible. And then, you know what we're going to be doing? I have to squeeze Epstein in there. I was supposed to do it tonight, but the space was so good I couldn't get myself away from it. Sorry, subscribers. I'll do it tomorrow. I will, I'm going to keep gonna continue. I'm doubling down on Fort Huachuca. I'm not moving away from it. We're gonna fucking triple down on looking into it, talking to people. We're gonna put out there, asking for people to come forward. We're gonna look at every angle of the players involved, how they could be connected. What are their pasts? Have they ever been to that fort before? How could they be? What's the connection between Amadai and the security officer? Is there any network there? Is there any overlap? Oh, we're gonna get down through there, audience. So hope you like that. Go ahead, Heel. I'm sorry.
Well, then bravo, because if a guy like Charlie Kirk, who does everything right in life and gives back and does so much for our country, if he can be taken away and nobody's asking enough questions or considering all the evidence, there's no point. You know, we need to, as a country, just figure this one out. So I'm so grateful to you and to Candace.
We got to do is figure out Charlie Kirk's assassination. Like, there's not bigger things to worry about or figure out.
I'm grateful to the FBI for arresting Tyler Robinson.
Yeah, great.
We know that you are. Yeah, we know that you are.
Interesting theory.
Yeah, genuinely, I'm grateful for catching the actual person.
Let's go to Zanny.
The actual bullet.
Go ahead, Zanny.
With DNA on the fucking rifle. That person. That's what I'm grateful to. Thank you, FBI.
Well, according to the FBI, his parents turned him in. They didn't go and arrest him. They didn't stack right on his door and breach his home and detain him. He was turned in. So
after they released his photo to the public.
Information
actually, it was after
they released.
Actually, it was actually a former sheriff. It was actually a former sheriff who turned him in, and his parents accompanied them. It wasn't even his parents. Go ahead, Zanny. I'm sorry for these guys. They have no respect for women whatsoever.
Zanny, you better jump while you can.
She may be muted.
There's more of that misogyny. Can't help himself. Go ahead, Zanny. Hey, Zanny, are you there? Can you hear us? She might have bad signal.
She took the Zanny. Too many of them.
Don't do that, bro. Don't do that. She's got bad.
I'm just joking.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
Let's
that's
go to
not
Dr.
a fun
Strange.
joke.
Let's go to Dr. Strange while we're waiting.
Hey, Diligent. Thanks for hosting and appreciate giving me the mic. From my perspective, this all boils down to two things, right? Many Americans are skeptical of the official narrative.
Oh, God. They're running my
Let her go while we can, Dr. Strange.
I'm sorry, but now you can hear me. So just
Go ahead, Zanny. Oh my God, why'd you drop her down? Is it tiny? Did you just fucking drop her down?
No, I don't. What the fuck? No, why would I do that?
I think it's just
We know it was you, Tiny. You're
Go ahead, Dr. Strange.
No one's monitoring another one.
Either Noxie or Zintani that dropped you. And
Your stage has been glitching for me all night, though.
Let's go to, go ahead, Dr. Strange. Finish.
Thanks. Well, as I was saying, many Americans are skeptical of the official narrative for the Charlie Kirk assassination for two reasons. One, there are numerous questionable loopholes regarding the official narrative. And in addition, we've had a history of political assassinations that are still unresolved. You've got JFK, MLK, Malcolm X, and President Trump, right? There were 2 assassination attempts on him last year. And I got more about Thomas Cook and the case from a 30-minute special that Tucker did than 1.5 years of the Fed, right? And that's both Biden Fed and Trump Fed. So people have a reason to be questionable, to be skeptical of what the Fed is saying. In addition, let's also realize that when people see a concerted smear campaign against Mitch Snow, you know what it reminds people? The same smear campaign that was pushed against Trump for the past few years because of the election cycle. So it's like a pattern that you know this, and people have woken up to it. And the other point I wanted to make is that regarding Mitch Snow, nobody's saying that Mitch Snow's word is the gospel. If anybody is, they're smoking some good hashish and don't believe a shit that they say. And what we're saying is that evaluate the content and the claim that he's making and filter it through. Look, if I was TPUSA, if I was a member of TPUSA, and this is affecting my credibility and the credibility of TPUSA as a whole, I'd be the first one to prove the son of a bitch wrong. I would go out there and basically showcase that, hey, all this shit, it can be put to rest, and I would not bleed my credibility continuously. If Brian Harpole, Erica Kirk, or Congress Amadeo has proof, just go out and put it out there and put this to rest. You would do us a favor if you could do that. You would do everyone a favor. I don't want to waste my time on this shit. Neither does Dilly or anybody else. If you, instead of coming in here and arguing with Diligent or others, please go to TPUSA and say, prove this son of a bitch wrong once and forever so we can move on. And then this way, Candace and everybody else will not have to spend all this time. It's, again, don't waste your time with Diligent. And as far as what A.B. was saying, that he said something along the lines of how he needs to prove himself. How can you prove it when he basically was there? He didn't have a phone to record things. He's just saying that this is what I saw. How do you expect him to now prove himself? Other than the fact that there's a record of him being there. And I'm not saying he did see this, right? And I'm not saying that...
He even said that he wasn't 100% certain, except for...
Yeah, how good is anyone at...
Except for with Congressman Amadai. Please stop interrupting. Let Dr. Strange finish.
Yeah, I was done. I was just basically saying the same thing. But I really hope that common sense prevails and people at TPUSA puts this to rest and basically proves that this guy...
Yeah, they can shut this shit down tomorrow if they wanted to. That's what I'm saying.
Like, less than an hour.
Instead of look at all of this... listen. Look at all of this effort to say, don't listen to this guy, when you could, in the space of an hour, 4 different people come out and say, you know what, we're just going to show you that we were here. We were at home, we were at work, we were on a plane, anything. It could be geo-tracking data, it could be a boarding pass, okay, boarding pass. You can actually get a receipt from an airline as proof that you traveled if you ask for it. If anybody doesn't know that, you absolutely can. 100% can. And so they could have done that a long time ago. Amadai could have done that. Fucking Brian Harpo could have done that. Erica Kirk says that she was at home, or, well, she didn't say that. Another third person on her behalf said it for her with holes all in it. Well, if you're going to try to allude that you were at home without actually saying it and leaving that whole plausible deniability thing hanging in the air, as long as you want to leave plausible deniability in the air, we are going to be suspicious of you. Okay? That is the fact. If you're going to continue to rest on the laurels of plausible deniability, then you can be scrutinized. You look suspect. You can easily solve this a number of different ways, each one of them, and they're not even trying to, right? So, they are responsible. You can say, oh, well, he's making the claim. The onus of burden is on him. Well, that would be true if we were having a debate. But we're talking about a murder. And before that murder, somebody who can prove where his whereabouts was says he saw somebody there the day before that murder. So why don't you just finally put it to rest? And I know some of them and their employees are listening right now. Why not finally put it to rest? Go to Brian Harpole. Go to the American Airlines that you supposedly flew on and say, hey, I need a receipt of my travel. And then share the receipt of that travel. Why don't you use your Ring footage that has dates and metadata and just send the link? You don't have to give out any personal information. I've done it before. You can do it. You can share a video from your Ring out to the public. You can share it to the cops. You can share it to anybody, and it doesn't dox any of your personal information, but it's verifiable what saw. If you really went for a walk that day or with your kids or whatever you did, you went to Starbucks, your Ring will show you leaving the house or coming back, right? Representative Amadai could do the same thing. If he really flew on the 8th all day, it took him all day to travel from Nevada to Washington, D.C. Nobody's buying that shit. And you were there voting. Nobody misses 2 fucking roll call votes in the building, by the way.
Nobody on the appropriations committee. It's the highest money spending committee in DC. They spent $1.5 trillion on the bill he was there for. 1.5. It's larger than the national defense budget, and you're telling me he's in the fucking building without voting twice? That he's in the building for 8 hours and he doesn't vote? Give me a fucking break, right? So prove that you weren't there. Prove that you weren't there, or face the scrutiny. And honestly, you fucking deserve it. Go ahead, Matt.
I'm just wondering, like, keep in mind, this wasn't like, you know, he wasn't attacked by a person. Like, let's say if you're an eyewitness and a person came up and stabbed you, and you remember what the guy looks like. We're talking about you went to Kmart yesterday, and you remember who the person at the checkout was, and you remember who the woman that came over and scanned your card was, and all this, because nothing really specifically was even involved. Those people weren't even directly affecting you. And Erica Kirk, the blonde woman with the unmistakable eyes, was at a hotel that you didn't really think was interesting at the time, and you didn't have a conversation with her, but you did see a blonde woman with interesting eyes, which is unforgettable. Does anybody have this level of recall? Because I don't think they do. I'm obviously paid. I've been paid. I love Netanyahu. I lick his balls every day, and I love TPUSA.
That's 3,500 for you. That's horrible.
But I would say 18 series operators in the U.S. Army. They are trained observers. No, they're trained observers. So this is what I'm talking about. People don't understand.
Too many people talking. Sorry, Lemaire. Let him finish, Lemaire. Let him land his plane. Go ahead, Matt. You can land your plane. Stop interrupting.
That you walk through the world and a guy in a military outfit with a crew cut is there, and days later you're like, that was him. And then you go, by the way, maybe it was, you know, like you didn't remember right off the bat that it was Erica Kirk. That came back to you, that you met her at a hotel or something. I don't care. So, I mean, was he like hardcore? Didn't it come out that he's not really, he was kind of like a low level, like was it really like hardcore military? I don't think he was like a PSYOP commander trained in the art of remembering everything all the time. Dude, seriously, a day after something happens, you have absolute, complete, and utter recall of the faces of the people. The entire story is built on that. This isn't even it, man. The whole thing, everything is based on an innuendo, based on a call, based on a thing, based on planes that were flying, based on, again, Macron's penis, which you even laughed at and said wasn't true, which means that you're in on it.
I didn't say it wasn't true. I said that I'm not going to give it.
It's all a psyop. It's all a psyop.
Please, just really quickly.
Yeah, you can Lemaire.
So here's something you have to understand about it.
And then you can go key.
So here's something that people need to understand about people that are trained to operate the covert space. The 18 series, which is special forces in the Army, are trained observers. So
Who's this guy?
This is Lamar. So when I was in the IC,
are you trained?
Yes, I was an intelligence officer for the IC. So when you that level of
photographs, and then
you stop, exercise some discipline.
If I send you photographs, will you be able?
Matt, I'm gonna have to drop you down if you continue to interrupt everybody, bro. You're derailing my space. Stop it, dude. Stop. I'm serious. Go ahead, Lemaire.
So just really quickly, as a part of that training, they go through exercises where they're tasked to go into an environment, observe what you see, come back and write fully detailed reports. That training continues until you get high fidelity, high confidence on what you observed. That training persists throughout their career. So if this was just Joe Blow off the street who had none of that formal training, did nothing at Fort Huachuca. I went in the Army. I was at Fort Huachuca. I was a 35 Fox intel specialist, and then I was hired onto into the IC after my time in service. You go through this training. We're not talking about just any old person. We're talking about someone who's trained to operate in an environment and provide very detailed reports about what's happening there when they return to the rear being the rear echelon. So that's why when I hear him say, without 100% confidence, because that's not what he said, hey, I remember very distinctly seeing this guy who looked like he was Special Forces, because they do have a look, they have a demeanor, the way they carry themselves. And then he mentions, hey, this woman's eyes stuck out to me. Those are things that you would pick up on. I've never seen another woman with the eyes like Erica Kirk. If I saw that out on the street, I would say, man, that woman has some really weird eyes. I've never seen anyone like that before. That's why when I hear that, I'm not saying I believe him 100%, but when I take into account the training I know he went through and what he said, which he did not say was 100%, it's like, okay, he made a claim. I don't believe him. When I take into account the training I know he went through and what he said, which he did not say was 100%, it's like, okay, he made a claim. I don't believe him 1,000%, but now we have additional information that's proving he was where he said he was. And now the people that could very easily, as Diligent said, just say, hey, I wasn't there. Here's my cell phone location data. I was at home chilling with the kids. They won't address it.
They haven't even said they're not there. They haven't even refuted it at all. They have not refuted it directly.
It's odd. If someone were to accuse you of being somewhere and doing something nefarious, and you could prove it very easily that you weren't there, you would just do it.
You know what I didn't have on my, I'm sorry, Lemaire. You know what I didn't have on my 2025 bingo card is Alex Jones and his acolytes defending the Fed fucking narrative and then chastising people for not believing it and then gaslighting us. How many people do you think were involved? 200, 300? Come on, Matt. Look at, dude, do you realize?
So I'm now relegated to an acolyte, huh? I don't exist. I'm just an Alex Jones.
You're saying the same things Alex Jones does.
I'm not. I'm a person who thinks things. You're saying the same things Candace says. Does that mean you're paid by her?
That's what you said. You said
anybody who agrees with someone is paid? No, I said you're brainwashed by her. I'm not brainwashed by Alex. You're now just pawning me off that I'm saying I am now.
Are you not an info warrior?
You're saying I'm an acolyte. That is fucking lame.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize for calling you an Alex Jones acolyte. I didn't know. You are like an info warrior. Like, it's on your fucking profile, right? Like, well, it's not now. It used to be. You were like an info warrior. Yeah, Info Warriors United. That's the name of your fucking community. So I'm not.
Oh, yeah. You proved it all along then. Okay. We don't even talk. Okay. The fact that I give a little respect to an OG doesn't make a difference.
But my
the
point
fact
is that you're
agree with something.
You
can't just automatically.
Let me finish what I'm saying. How about that? And then you can argue with what I say. Okay? You built your persona on skepticism of the government. You literally have a Lady Liberty with a fucking a mask over her face because during COVID, we were lied to by the feds and the fucking media, right? And so here you are at the end of 2025 alongside Alex, okay, maybe not because he's saying it, fucking pushing the Fed fucking slop narrative and then gaslighting people who are not.
I am not pushing any Fed slop narrative. I fucking called it out the whole fucking time, asshole. I said it could have been shot from underneath. I said it was Israel, day fucking one, fuckface. Don't tell me I'm pushing Fed slop narratives. I'm not. Just because I don't agree with every single fucking thing you say doesn't mean I'm buying the Fed slop narrative. That's what retards say.
Did you say how many people are involved? 200, 300?
You struck a nerve. Yeah, I did. What, 1,000 million people? Does that mean I'm now an acolyte?
Are you not making fun of us?
Anybody who agrees with
okay? I'm letting you carry on more than I let most people carry on my statements.
No, you're calling me a fucking...
I'm not calling you anything, all right? I did call you an Alex Jones acolyte, and here I am. I was wrong to do that. I apologize. My only point was that, you are branded as a dissenter, right? We are dissenting, and you are mocking us for our dissent.
I am dissenting also, my brother man. Just because there's an alternate narrative doesn't mean I have to believe it.
But you're not just not believing it.
Question
You're
the questioners. Just because someone questions doesn't automatically mean the questioner is correct. Question them also. Is that fucking Rubik's Cube brain level for you?
Am I buying it or am I asking questions?
You're buying it. The answer.
I'm asking questions. I should be allowed to ask questions of the questioners. It's been a topic of mine for years to say I am skeptical, and I am also skeptical of the skeptics. It is old school for people to run narratives. It is old school for the fucking psyop police, the fucking people to feed us narratives, to lead the journey for all the people in the psyop world. That's what they do. They lead the thing. So we have to question the questioners also. It doesn't mean I'm questioning you. It doesn't mean I believe you're in on it. But if I question something...
Let me respond, okay? Because break it up a little bit. I'm giving you a lot of fucking headway. So when all of the questioners, like you said about your friend that was in here earlier, Morgan, she was one of the OG questioners, Tim Pool, okay? Like when all of these people, these OG questioners or whatever, are all pushing the same narrative, which is Mitch bad, don't listen to him. Why aren't you questioning that?
I actually do. To be honest, it almost makes me want to swing back. But you know what? I was questioning it before that. Remember, my brother man? When you and I were both agreeing that this thing was getting a little bit unbelievable.
That was only,
we have to go back to season one for Macron's penis.
You keep going back to that, but it really...
because that's reality. Because it's a part of reality.
You keep going back to that, and it was hilarity, but we haven't talked about it in a long time. I refuse to talk about it more than that day that it happened, right? Like, you keep going back to it as
Why? That was part of the story. That was part of the story.
That's not part of my story.
Why can we not question that?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Why can we not question the idea that the reason why Charlie Kirk was assassinated was because really it was about Candace Owens being assassinated, and they switched it because originally they were supposed to be assassinating Candace Owens because of Macron's penis.
Nobody said that.
The fact that I didn't run with it tells you I question that angle, right? Like I didn't, you can't.
So we should be allowed to question things.
Okay, then why are you not questioning the unilateral attack on Mitch?
I am actually starting to wonder about it, to be honest, but I question the whole fucking thing. I told you before, I think that because Candace Owens, like I said before, and I recorded the space, because Candace Owens is mostly relying on tips. She's allowing herself open, a gaping butthole, to every fucking agency in the world who wants to feed her psyop-related bullshit that might be semi-believable. The best lies have some level of truth, and people who are fucking narcissistic psychos who lie all the time
how else is she supposed to do it? She's supposed to wait for the FBI to uncover what happened. I mean, so can I just say something real quick?
She can do whatever she wants, baby. She can do whatever she wants.
Right? So
I am capable of questioning.
Let's let Lene talk to you, bro. Come on, you're not being in good faith. Like, you're not allowing any back and forth. There's no conversation happening. Lene, go ahead.
Thank you. So, for one, when that whole situation, let me just put this out there. I was the first person in all of the spaces saying that I thought that there was a correlation between Brigitte Macron and Candace Owens. Not even Candace Owens said that. I said that even in one of Diligent spaces. He disavowed me even before Candace came out saying anything about her assassination attempt and all of that. Just making that clear, okay? That was a theory that I had from the get-go. Diligent has not stood by it, which is why he's literally trying to say, Matt, that if he stood by that, he'd be investigating that situation.
He got the call.
That doesn't make any sense. Nobody's saying you got the call, Matt. Nobody's accusing anybody besides the coordinating things, okay? So for one, as far as Morgan goes, if you read what she wrote, it doesn't sound like she's trying to sway anyone from looking at Mitch. She's saying, me personally, I don't really want to follow this guy. I think he may be an op or whatever because of his history. She's not trying to coordinate everybody from...
Because she bought into Valhalla's white knighting, I'm here to protect the women bullshit.
All I'm trying to say is, two things can be correct at the same time. She doesn't want to follow 100%. The Mitch story, doesn't necessarily, but at the same time, it does look like it's coordinated. So even still, I like before Diligent even made a post, I thought, whoa, that's so weird. Evan's posting, and then right after that, Morgan's posting the same thing. They're not saying.
To be honest, it does make me worry, especially because of all of the freaking op people, all of the Blackwater types, all of the operators. All of a sudden, it does make me wonder.
Yeah,
I want to see some real proof. I want to see. I honestly think we've gone way in the weeds, and I think the idea that we can't question the questioners is very toxic.
Hey,
and I think the fact that all of the questioning people are now.
That's not it. That's not what's going on. That's not what's going on. Evil. Just real quick. Before you come in here, before AB comes in here, before the typical, the very ordinary disruptors come into these spaces, we're having conversations. Like, I'm literally sitting here saying, I'm not dead. Like, even Candace Owens, look at her last recent post. She really literally said, like, no one is die hard to any of these theories. She's researching. That's what an investigation is. And yes, she is opening up her tips box with any information. She doesn't want to leave any stone left unturned. And yeah, she may get some shit wrong, but at least she's investigating. And yeah, if we have any information on Mitch and we know for a fact, AB, that these things are reasons to believe that he is lying, present that to Candace, present it to Diligent, whatever, and then we can move on from that situation.
You're making a great point. Is it possible from a regular non-paid off standpoint, who actually does care about Charlie Kirk and does care about the investigation, from my perspective, I feel like all of these tips and all of these things are not getting us closer. Maybe I'm wrong. And like I already said, I'll pay $1,000 to anybody who wants to bet me. If Candace solves this, I will pay you $1,000.
I think that
if they don't, I would much rather lose the $1,000.
I think that is because your bias is not allowing you to entertain more possibilities. Your bias against Candace.
No.
It's coming through, bro.
I call it
go back and look at my timeline. Why don't you look at the word Candace in my? Why don't you? Why don't you look at my timeline?
It doesn't seem like you have.
Why don't you look at my timeline?
Let him respond. Let him respond.
I literally said, because I'm doing a year end every year. I do like a recap of my year. So I look back through my yearly post and I put together like what happened in the year. And I'm like, man, this year went by so fast, but I'm getting stolen some time. And then I look back through the year. I'm like, wow, I did so much. And I look back and I was like, Candace called out fucking Elon Musk, and I was like the only person talking about. Funny enough, now I'm doing AI, and she was calling out AI, and I'm like, I'm the only person in the world that ever called out Elon about AI. I'm like, we are soul brothers and soul sisters. And then after that, I'm like, take that, assholes. Read the receipts. Candace proved that Israel was involved in Charlie Kirk's thing from the text. Those are in my timeline, bro. And also Harrison Smith and all of that. I called out fucking Israel day one, I believe. Honestly, I'm starting to think that all of this stuff could be possibly a psyop fed into her back end.
Wait, Matt,
saying, hey, look at this, look at this, look at that, look at that.
Her black hole, as you put it.
It's psyop stacked on psyops. I personally feel that we are getting taken I could be wrong, and I could be wrong, I feel like Candace feels. I feel too. I'm sorry, I'm a white male. I can feel also. I feel that we are being taken further and further away from the scene of the crime, and further away into it.
I would argue. Hold on. There's too many people talking. I would argue that all of the efforts to get us to move away from this direction suggest otherwise. I am going to wrap up the space now. We have 2 minutes, so here's what I'm going to do. I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Make sure you guys are following my co-hosts, Zentani and Noxie. Very consistent. Turn all notifications on. Matt is a Spaces host. Some of my other speakers are as well. Make sure you guys are all following them. I'm going to let you finish, Matt. We're all going to go. If you want to support what I'm doing as a Spaces host or my journalism, the best way is by turning all notifications on for my profile. That way, when I host a space, you don't miss it. You won't miss my Charlie Kirk or my Epstein coverage. And if you want to support me, there's a subscription button on my profile. It's pink. And I do subscriber-only spaces to give value to my subscribers. There's one scheduled after this one. The link is in the Jumbotron. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the rest of the hands. You each have about a minute and a half, and then we are going to wrap. Matt, go ahead.
Hey, man, I know I get passionate, man, but it's like, honestly, I really feel like...
I respect you, dude. I have a lot of respect for you.
This is not paid shit. This is like me literally looking at a movement that, you know, you can say whatever. I helped build and I was a part of. And I see just every single person at each other's throats, and there's like new litmus tests every day. I mean, I told Morgan, I was like, dude, just last week you were throwing people under the bus saying they took $7,000, they're in on it, and now how does it feel? You know, I'm just saying, like, guys, be careful. Like, can't we just like argue the points without like getting super tribal and just assuming like everyone on planet Earth is in on it? I mean, come on, man. Some people are.
I can't even.
And it's all.
Right? Oh, it's cool. It wasn't my shit, so I ain't tripping.
I don't have lie about a dick. I just suck the dick in the middle.
It's okay, man.
But when I do the whole one, I'm gonna demolish it.
I'm gonna demolish it.
Y'all do it together?
No, I don't need no help.
I don't need no help. I'm cool.
This is always saying that they don't want to get outdid.
No, I got this. I ain't gonna
hold on.
He said doesn't fly our aircraft. We haven't had that kind of partnership with India. That you're talking about. You have the facts wrong here. Okay.
Let's fact check it.
Would you say India is like NATO or Japan?
No, India.
Hold on, that's Tania. Would you say? Would you put India like an ally, like India, like not Japan?
With? No, absolutely not.
Less than an ally, but
they were less than an ally.
Well, not less than an ally, less than Japan, but still an ally.
I don't think, Omari. I think do some research on this, and you'll see that the U.S. has always
double checking it for.
The U.S. has always struggled to try to deal with Pakistan and India, and the problem is you can't be friends with both of them at the same time. That problem we still have with India. And India's not either not a great partner.
Well, Trump in his first term was friends with India. I mean,
it goes back, but it goes back and forth. Is my point, and that they're not
pissed India off when he did the tariffs.
But he would have pissed them off with something else anyway. It's not like Japan, where they've been our friend for a very long time. They've been a fast friend, and we can trust them.
So remember when Moody came? Remember when they came to Houston? They had that big ass rally at the stadium, and they were hugging and shit. It was wild. I thought India was on our side, but Neil's kind of teaching me some things. Oh, you both of you, I guess, in the conversation how India has, I guess, turned their back on us so quickly. But yeah, it's interesting. But I just looked it up. It didn't say they were an ally. It says India. The U.S. Let's see. It says, but India is not an American ally in the way Japan and NATO. So I was right. Countries are. It's pursuing strategic autonomy. Okay. I did Google some of this stuff, so I'm gonna read some of these articles on.
I'll give you last 5 administration policies on China and Pakistan. Give me a second. This is basic facts of U.S. foreign policy. The fact that I have to pull up histories of the administration is strange. Of course, India has been a preferred partner over Pakistan. The whole Asia strategy, linchpin to some extent, other than the Japan, was India. The whole supply chain partnerships was about relocation from China to India, remember? India was supposed to be the next China and a preferential partner for the United States in terms of the next manufacturing capacity.
And that's why they need more janitors.
Did everybody forget all of those narratives and discussions?
No, we remember.
That's all extremely recent. And this recency bias is a problem with your way of thinking, neoliberal. That's just not important. The thing you need to be thinking about is how they weren't a partner
strange when
at that time.
That what I'm saying is not important. That's not how you do it.
I'm still white, okay? So I still should get to say a few words before you interrupt me.
Okay, you did the meth head thing again.
And I'm a meth head, okay? And that
I use a crackhead, nigga. Use a crackhead.
They are not a stable or steadfast partner, and they never have been.
That's not what.
And a lot of the time, Pakistan. A lot of the time, Pakistan has been the preferred partner, and it could go back to that anytime soon.
But hold on, you don't really. I think he forgot this was a black room. So what? This is a black space. So. Jason,
are you trying to be racist here, nigga? This is a multicultural space, nigga.
Look, your color of your skin don't get you extra brownie points up in here. But I'm not a mod, and I'm not. But I'm sure if Patty was awake, she'll tell you to probably go fuck yourself, literally.
Well, then let's just
shut the fuck up, you loose piece of shit.
Let's just all try to respect each other then, regardless of race, okay?
Jason, the only one that brought it up is you.
Nigga, you black as hell, nigga. Your ancestors don't even know how to open a Coke bottle, nigga. And y'all even talking fucking politics, bitch.
You're gonna probably have to completely boot him out.
I'm moving him.
Well, we know. Like if there was the Wild Wild West, who would be faster on the draw, neoliberal? You would lose. You would not be a fast gunslinger. I tell you that.
My iPad is literally in a.
He would have been shot on site if Gemini was here.
Okay, so. Okay, Bush administration, 2001, 2009. Let's go from there, right? The Bush administration transformed U.S.-India relations through bold policy initiative that broke with decades of American non-proliferation orthodoxy. Centerpiece of this transformation was U.S.-India civil nuclear agreement, right? That's one. Established foundational architecture for defense cooperation. Enabled intelligence sharing between two nations. Simultaneously hedged Pakistan as major non-NATO ally, right, for cooperation on the war on terrorism. That's the only thing that Bush did on Pakistan. Barack Obama, pivot to Asia.
That's 2008? Is that right?
Yes,
2009.
Yeah. Okay, so Barack Obama, 2009, 2017, pivot to Asia. Obama administration significantly deepened defense and security cooperation with India. Clinton and Indian external met in New Delhi, pledged to enhance strategic partnership, established strategic dialogue, defense cooperation expanded substantially during Obama years, engaged in numerous unprecedented combined military exercises, and major arms sales accelerated dramatically. Obama explicitly stated in 2014 that the U.S. supported a greater role in the Asia-Pacific for India. Leon Panetta visited India 12, upgrade defense relations from a bilateral relationship to joint research, development, and production. What is it? I'm trying to find, I don't think anything substantial comparatively that Obama did with Pakistan.
Well, I guess you and I just understand how to weight those facts differently. Like you're saying in 2008, in 2008, they also signed a nuclear power cooperation agreement with a civilian nuclear cooperation agreement with Russia, which is not something we wanted them to do.
We're comparing India.
And we're talking about Asia.
Look, I'm not finished. I let you finish talking. You have to stop interrupting me while I'm trying to explain my position.
So Neo's right.
Because
Barack Obama did have the
2008 doesn't mean anything. Zero, nothing.
Even TPP?
It doesn't matter. Okay? Pakistan, we've got U-2 basing in Pakistan in the 50s. We have had military cooperation with Pakistan continuously for decades. And in 2008, there was a little thawing with India. In 2018, we began some defense cooperation with India. Well, that's really nice, but what is that, 7 years? And it's just nothing compared to the depth of our relationship with Pakistan. You guys' understanding of the facts, I think the way you're reading those facts is not useful. And India has blown hot and cold with the U.S. for a long time. And I think this is just true to form. And this is what we should and could expect from them. No, you disagree with me about that, fine. And maybe that's all there is to say.
But what proof do you have that they went hot to cold?
All right. That's not the framing of what I was saying. The framing of what I was saying, like, Jason, you can agree or disagree with that. I'm literally not arguing with you that point. We're arguing a different point. We're arguing the point that long-term, bipartisan, U.S. policy has been preferential treatment of India over Pakistan. I went back to 2000s, starting from 2000s for the last 20 years. I think 20 years clarifies as long-term. We can go.
Is that because they really, that's where Osama was at?
Yes, and the second point that we're arguing is that India was a keystone in strategy of pivot to Asia and possible confrontation with China. Now, you may say that it's a good thing, a bad thing. We should not have done India. We should have done something else. India is not. I don't care. That's not my point. My point is that bipartisan long-term policy of the United States was preferential treatment of India over Pakistan, especially because it was positioned to be a partner vis-a-vis China. So I'm going through the facts, right, of that. So if you disagree on the facts of that, we can disagree. We are not agreeing on the normative where it's a good thing, bad thing, I don't care.
Actually, what we're disagreeing about, well, I don't think 2000 is long-term. Okay, if that's what you think of as long-term, okay, that's different. I think if you ignore the previous relationship, then the way you will weight them turning away from us is incorrect. Okay? And that's where we disagree. I think it's always worth it to try with India.
Pivot to Asia. That's the cornerstone of the cornerstone of the
cornerstone of the conversation is, what did we lose when India turned away? And I would say we didn't lose very much, and it wasn't unexpected. It's normal. We should try with India, and they will come back. But they have never been very steadfast with us. And part of their strategy the longest time has been to balance Russia, China, United States against each other. They are not ready to pick a side.
Okay, Jason, again. Okay, let's go further. U.S.-India strategic framework is Compact Initiative. U.S.-Pakistan has no formal status. U.S.-India defense status, major defense partner. U.S.-Pakistan former non-NATO ally, which is currently suspended. U.S.-India economic model, trade investment, $212 billion. U.S.-Pakistan, $7 billion. U.S.-India institutional debts, Quad, I2U2, Indus-X, U.S.-Pakistan institutional debt, minimal multilateral engagement. U.S.-India technology transfers, jet engines, semiconductors. U.S.-Pakistan, none. U.S.-India China factor, counterweight, according to policy, right? Pivot to Asia. U.S.-Pakistan is a strategic partner of China. Hello?
You got to make an argument here, all right? You're just listing off some things.
Yes,
right?
I'm comparing the policies over the time.
Over what time?
Over
what time?
All of the time. This is the result.
No. Over what period of time? Because certainly prior to the 90s, we had no partnership with India.
Okay. At the year 1500, United States doesn't exist. How is this in any way relevant?
I mean, there's a lot of continuity there. Yeah, in year 1500, the U.S. does not exist. But it's not like the previous Indian administration just wakes up and, just dies, and the new one appears with no memory of what happened before.
What is going on here?
So, but neoliberal, you just are weighing this India thing way too heavily.
See the point.
Well, no, you're just wrong. India was never a partner we could put much weight on, and their behavior here is expected.
Jason, that's not my argument.
There's nothing that was lost. No, your point is wrong.
Argument. That's not
your
my
point
argument.
Is wrong.
Jason, that's not my argument for it to be wrong. Right?
Your argument is that something meaningful was lost when India turned away from us, and that it was something we could control.
That's not the current argument. We need to settle one argument before we can move to another. The argument was comparisons of U.S. relations with India and U.S. relationships with Pakistan.
Jason, I just fact checked you. You're wrong in the chat. You're welcome.
Who's wrong?
Jason's wrong.
Omari, you don't know what you're talking about.
You just asked me to look it up, and I just did. I've come to the conclusion that you're wrong, and I'm giving all credence to neoliberal at this point.
Well, you shouldn't do that. Okay, and that's not a way to have a discussion.
Okay, just to move on. Like you are unable to admit that you're based on base argument that is not
I don't have to agree with you on anything. Okay, we can move on if you want. But if the idea is you want to make me agree on something, that's not going to happen.
I don't care. Just meet up. Let other people speak.
Yeah, so you both sort of right and sort of wrong. Because neoliberal, I agree with you that losing India in this relationship is a huge, India is a huge asset in the region, especially if the United States is trying to balance out China in its foreign policy and kind of shift the economic dependency away from it. However, I do disagree, and I think Jason is correct in saying that Pakistan has much longer lasting and much more deeply cut relationship with Pakistan and India. I mean, it continues since the Cold War days. I think just going back a couple of decades does not qualify as a long-term plan. India became ally of the United States only since 2000s. Until then, it had been pretty cool. One of the reasons was because United States warmed up to China. It's always been balancing China against Soviet Union and China versus against Russia in more recent days. And at the time, the Nixon strategy was to warm up to China, and India obviously has some problems, regional problems, border problems with China. Tibet was basically it was like a stab in the back from China taking over Tibet. So in the long term, like I think you're incorrect in qualifying that Pakistan does not have such an in-depth relationship as with China. However, I do agree with you that United States has a lot to lose if they don't pursue India and change the shift the focus, economical focus.
And all due respect, I didn't understand this agreement. So I understand the agreement. We agreed in one place that loss of India is a bad thing. Okay, that's cool. The strategic relationship as it currently stands. So again, I'm not making projections how it will turn out, how it will not turn out. I have no idea. Currently, as it stands, right? US-India relationship is much more comprehensive and valuable compared to US-Pakistan relationship, just on the facts.
That is correct. However, from what I understand,
that's my point.
Hold on. Your statement was that United States' long-term strategy was to engage with India, and that's not the case. With India, United States doesn't have as long-term alliances and military cooperation. That's with
Pakistan.
With Pakistan. Yeah,
so
comparatively with Pakistan.
So what long-term partnership and strategic framework is Pakistan signed up with the United States that compares to India favorably?
I mean, Pakistan, both Pakistan and India had been in relationship with the United States for, 80 years almost. I'm about to give it to you.
Yes.
So during the Cold War, they were SENTO allies, and they signed MNA in 2012. They were designated as a non-NATO strategic ally during the Cold War.
That is suspended.
It was. I listen. So let's not move the goalpost. We're talking about the long-term relationship. So I'm going back further than you are, and I'm just saying that if we look at the whole stretch of the relationship between India and United States and Pakistan and United States, Pakistan and United States have. Well, because that was the claim.
I mean,
claim is incorrect.
It's one thing to say it doesn't matter, neoliberal. It's another thing to say it's not true. And you got to distinguish those things, okay?
So you're saying that during Cold War, there were good relationship with Pakistan and worse relationship with... how is that... okay, sure, let's say that's true. What does that matter? How does that inform us about strategic interest of the United States today rather than during Cold War?
I'm simply addressing the claim. The claim was that the United States was much deeply long-term.
The claim was situated
with India than with Pakistan. That was not correct.
The claim was situated in 2025 discussing Trump policies.
If you're talking about the long-term strategy, it's not just today. It's for years prior to that.
Long-term. Okay.
In years prior to that, long-term
this is called contextual. Andre, mute up. This is basic comprehension of a discussion. So comprehension of discussion was long-term in context of policy with China, right? Vis-a-vis policy of competition with China.
Yes.
United States didn't have policy of competition with China.
You're just moving the goalposts.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Maybe late.
Well, no, I think neoliberal.
Just it up. I'm speaking.
It's simpler if you just say long-term means the last 20 years. That's what you mean, and that's not what I meant. And that's why we disagree.
Conversation. Mute up, Jason.
No, neoliberal. Why don't you try to allow back and forth? Because bullying us is not working. Okay, bullying us is not working.
Okay.
You keep interrupting.
Omari, are you here?
I'm here, sir.
Okay, Omari, was the broad context of the conversation limited to 2025, Trump and vis-a-vis and overall conversation of Trump abandoning alliances, strategic interests,
NATO, the whole thing, yeah.
NATO and China. So in that context of the conversation, when somebody says long-term and it's about competition with China, that means since competition with China is prioritized as United States interest. Wouldn't that be understood from the context of conversation?
That's how I understood it. Mm-hmm.
Correct. So when we're talking about competition with China, we could all at most go to Bush years, right? When it was not formal strategy, right? But it was very much in the air. And it was formalized under Obama as pivot to Asia, right? Inheriting some of that stuff from the Bush's policy. So when we say long term, in context of competition with China, we're talking since pivot to Asia. And you can include Bush in there, right? So since Bush, I demonstrated with facts, right, that India has been preferred partner compared to Pakistan. I don't know how Cold War era policies figure into this.
Because if that's
okay, go ahead.
Yeah, if that's what you mean, I don't disagree with that, but that's not how I took what you said. Okay, and I think using long term the way you're using it, and just based on what you think Omari believes it means, is vague, and that contributed to a misunderstanding here. All right, so you should apologize to me and to everyone for dragging us when you just could say all that I meant. No, show respect. Show respect. Show respect.
Nobody is following.
You should apologize for dragging us through all this.
Drag the conversation.
All you need to say is that look by long term. All you need to say is that by long term, all that I meant is since the Bush years. If that's what you meant by long term, you should clarify that. Okay.
Anybody? I'll handle it, Spirit. I'll handle it. So, Jason, anybody with, well, you love the IQ terms. So anybody with any sensible level of IQ would understand
what
long
did you
term
say about
in
my
the
IQ?
context. Anybody with any
what did you say about my
level
IQ?
of IQ, I said anybody with sensible level
but you said something.
will understand.
No, this is not needed. This is not needed here. Well, you made a mistake, okay? You made a mistake, all right? That's something you need to own. Yes, you did. You made a mistake. You are unable to understand contextual conversations is senseless. That's okay. It's just a senseless thing to say. And I think we can part here. Well, we're going to part.
Okay, goodbye.
Thank you for your time today. No, I'm parting. I'm parting. I'm parting. Okay. Thank you for your time today. All right. We clearly are not going to be able to resolve this in a mutually respectful way. So thank you for your time, and we'll talk another time. All right?
Okay.
Okay, God
all right.
bless.
Talk to you later. Ciao.
Bye. Okay, Spirit, go.
I have nothing to say. He just annoys the fuck out of me, and the conversation sucks. So I'm just here to hang out. Thanks, Omari. Appreciate you pulling up the facts. Thank you. God bless.
Bless America. Bless America. I wish Miss Kimberly would come up because one, she's good at least previous administration. She has the knowledge, but oh my God, I'm not saying it in a way. I mean, you're. Oh my God, stop it. Don't do that. That sounds very weird. RJ, right? Like, I'm not in love with you, ladies. Relax. Oh, man. But that was a good conversation. I don't know what Spurs. I thought neoliberal. I thought that was a pretty good back and forth. Andre, which sounds like your twin, came on the stage. He looked like he irked you a little bit. It sounded like when the other kind of, Eastern European came on the stage, he kind of got a little irked a little bit, but okay.
No,
he was missing the context of the conversation and what was going on. I hate when people come in like at the 11th hour and try to explain stuff, and we're not talking about that. I was just listening the whole time. I don't get why people do that. That's all. But it was cool, the conversation, because then, if you're like me, and probably Omari, I'm guessing, you're like, I wonder what this was. And you go look it up, and then you learn about that, and you go down different rabbit holes with, the history of American relations with India over the last 50, 60 years. And the same with Pakistan. So it's a learning experience. So thank you for the convo.
Yeah, thanks. So, but Neo, question, do you believe that because of 2025, the long-term relationship that was built from previous administrations, that these countries will just, they know a new president will be in there, that they won't do anything to maybe ruin that by going towards China? Like, do you think India will just wait it out until 2029?
Well, with India, like, I thought it is better than it is actually, it seems, because after looking more into India and speaking with some people, apparently the offense taken from United States is on not only like political policy level, or we don't like this policy, but it is culturally, right? Like, United States hates us basically and has betrayed us, and that has that opinion has spread through the society, not only in the political elites, which means that it's not recoverable quickly, right, with just another president. And it's not personified in Trump, it's personified in the United States. So it's kind of bad.
And that's the part where, like, during this conversation, when I'm not saying it's like really hyperbolic, but I'm saying I feel like countries understand that different presidents come. I know that they're used to the traditional, like, Bushes, but they remember Trump won. And a lot of countries did come back when Biden came in, right? So I think Gavin Newsom has a good relationship with the Chinese president, Xi. He went to China. He came to San Francisco. I don't know. I don't see that our relationships are ruined. But I think if like, let's say another, like, Trumper gets in, possibly the relationship could be ruined. But it all depends on the next administration, and that's just my opinion.
It also kind of depends on. I agree. Like, if the next Democratic president has a lot of work to do to repair all of this relationship, I hope they can be repaired. I'm not anti-United States. But there's going to be a challenge, right? Because there is also another fact of, now that this foreign policy might be bipartisan, other countries cannot rely on this foreign policy moving so drastically every 4 years, right? Possibly at least moving 4 years, and then, like, if you include the midterm cycle too, right? So that is further into conversation on the reliability of the United States. That was different between, like, Obama, Bush, etc., because on core foreign policy issues outside of, like, crises and Obama, like, I can like, for example, Iraq has been, although Bush is blamed on it, but Iraq policy and getting rid of Saddam Hussein is not singularly a Bush idea. It has been a long-term, also bipartisanly held idea in the national security circles in the United States. Now, another Democratic president might not have done the exact mistakes of the Bush and might have handled it differently, but given the opportunity to get rid of Saddam, might have done it too, right? That's an alternative world scenario. But at least there was, and that's a bad example, right? In terms of, like, I don't think the Iraq war was good, but there was a consistency between Republican and Democratic administrations on foreign policy with some variability, but nothing like with Trump.
And this is a question to you. So, looking back at 2015 till today, looking at the rise of, like, someone like a Bernie Sanders, do you see America becoming more isolationist, like as a country, just in general? Do you think we're headed to? Oh my God, Bob's gonna say something crazy, so I'm gonna go on mute until he does.
Bro, I literally cleared my voice. I've been in here.
Right. You came on stage. Right. I'm just giving you a chance. What you gotta say, Bob?
Omar, I was listening to you, Omar.
Okay, cool. Most people with, like, 3 followers usually come on stage. Most people with 3 followers usually come on stage, and then they go, and then we just boot them. So I'm glad you did it. But so going back to the point,
Fuck up, nigga.
I know, right?
There we go. Bill did it. Just stick up your ass, bro. What's your problem, bro?
That's one for free, Bill. It was a good troll.
So, well, I would control Neo, really? They're calling me the N-word?
Yo, go back with your stupid ass shit.
Oh, he said the N-word?
All these friends.
Bro. Look, I'm just trying to stroke my shit to this conversation, dog. Keep going.
Boy. I'm Ari.
All right.
Hello.
Them to it.
Hello.
Lend your
Moderation is
Hello?
hard.
Talking about.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
We can hear you. Hello?
Hello.
Listen, based on what you said earlier, a few minutes ago, it's not so much of them waiting out Trump. The problem is they realize that we voted in Trump. It's not they don't trust Trump anymore. They don't trust us anymore. But they figure because if we voted him in for the second term, we're likely to vote someone else in another term. And so because of that, Europe and other countries are starting to do their own thing and not trusting us as much as they used to, unless it's vitally necessary. And with that, I land my plane.
Yeah, Barry, to your question, sorry, I blanked because of all the bots. Can you repeat it? Sorry, I blanked.
No, I mean, do you see a trend in America?
Okay, isolationism. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not. I think at least most of the polls in the United States show that people are so burned by the economic policies of Donald Trump that neoliberalism might be back. This is why I'm the neoliberal shit. Globalization, free trade is back.
And that's just your prediction by the time this is over, or do you see any studies or any stats right now, any data to point to that?
Well, the tariff rate, like the tariff policies are going to be disastrous. The Democrats are going to blame tariffs. I think tariff argument is going to be unrecoverable for anybody for a long time, right? So tariffs are going to be gone. And given the polling that we have on economy, people connect. Tariffs are unpopular, right? Like net negative on economy. Democrats are more trusted with economy. Now they might do some type of a tariff, but it would really be a hard sell for anybody to do any broad-based tariffs politically in the United States. So that means free trade. That doesn't mean now immigration might be different. On immigration, Democrats are now more trusted on immigration than Republicans, thanks to the disastrous policies. So that may switch too, but less. But less. So yeah, I don't see isolationism coming back. I think lesson was learned. Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean,
man. I mean, seriously, we got to learn our lessons in some of this stuff. America, regardless who the president is, we can't sit here and end up in long, drawn out wars and all this other kind of stuff. Financially, it just doesn't make any sense. And I don't care who you are, tariffs, they ain't helping nobody. And so if you Republicans are happy with that, then good luck. But it really isn't working out for a lot of the globe. I mean, you hear a lot of Republicans saying for that issue, it's making them, or some of them, a lot of money, while others suffer under the weight of these tariffs. I hope that they go away, seriously, because it's like a tax, like an extra tax. It just doesn't make sense. It makes dollars for some people, but not everybody. So I have a real big problem with tariffs and where it's leading us to.
So And I'm sorry to ask a million questions, and this could be to anyone who's still awake, which probably is only you, neoliberal spirit, myself, Orlando Ashton.
Yeah, well, don't forget, there's a MAGA circle jerk going on in the chat all night as well.
Right, and the chat can answer this too. If we raise taxes, and again, this has been something the Republicans have said, and maybe Matt or Beaver can answer in the chat. Do you believe if we got rid of the tariffs but we raised taxes, do you think that these companies are still going to lower their prices?
Oh, no. The trickle down effect, brother, doesn't work. Sorry, it's kind of like everything else, just doesn't trickle down. So I'm sorry. Like, we can't say that even if the tariffs go away, the companies are going to be fair. I mean, they made a lot of money during the pandemic. Did that trickle down to the employees? No. So no, brother, you got to find something else, something else, some other way. Yes, companies are going to continue to make money, but the government or whatever agencies, they're not forcing these companies to also meet the wage demand of people who are working and that kind of stuff too. So I just don't find that this is going to trickle down to help the people that it should be. Even if tariffs go away, companies will not be fair in divvying their profits to try to help their employees or those who work for them. That's what I see. Like Walmart. Why the hell, are you an employee, somebody working at Walmart, and you can barely make it? While CEOs or whoever at that, they make a hell of a lot of money while you struggle. That stuff I see every day because I go into Walmart and other places and see older people at the door. I don't want to be 70 years old still working at your local Walmart. I'm sorry. So we got to do better by people and companies right now. They're not doing better by their workers. It's really bad.
Well, one thing that Trump did allude to in one of his more recent speeches that I agreed with, which is not allowing the companies to do stock buybacks, when they get lower corporate taxes, and have it, with the hope, he didn't say this, but I'm adding this, with the hope that they end up, investing more in the company, also training more people, raising wages, for example, building their business so they can hire more people, things like that. Instead, a lot of these profits that they've gotten off of lower corporate rates have gone to stock buybacks, which certainly favor the companies and the wealthy.
CEOs who run these conglomerates, massive companies, they benefit too, you know what I mean? But like I continue to say, the folks who stand in my line at the church, they ain't making that kind of money. And I find that to be horribly embarrassing when we live in a country like this one and your CEOs are doing well and your people are looking for brown paper bags and other things to put their food in because they just can't make it. It is utterly embarrassing, the stuff that I see, y'all. Like throughout this year, I've just seen people just struggle. Those who have never been to a food bank, lady came to us and said, well, I've never been here. I've never found myself in this situation. And she said, thank you to you-know-who, because she was new, didn't know who was all at the food bank. And she said, thank you to you-know-who, I find myself standing in this line because I cannot make it. Republicans, I don't know if you hear the cries of various people or whatever rock y'all living under, but y'all got to get it right. I'm serious because it's very disappointing, and because I see it on the ground, but I don't see Republicans doing absolutely nothing. What the hell are y'all doing? Come on, let's get this right. Y'all got to fix this stuff.
I mean, I know everybody's asleep, but one of the things that I look at.
Don't worry about sleeping people. Worry about the people who are awake.
Yeah, right. So like one of the things that you look at is, let's say incomes do go up, which incomes are not going up, right? Incomes are not matching, right? Especially like minimum wage. Right, minimum wage is like, as it went up in, I don't know, in the government, I don't know how many years. I was talking about this last week, I believe, in this space. But if wages can go up, and even though the cost is up, at least that can offset some of these high costs. So how do we get wages up? When companies don't want to pay people.
Hey, Omari.
What's up, Alan?
Yeah, hey, how you doing? I just looked it up.
Better than I
Approximately
deserve.
82 to 84% of small businesses pay all of their employees more than the federal minimum wage, according to Small Business Majority. Data indicates only 1.1% of hourly paid workers earn the federal minimum wage or less. Major corporations such as CVS and Bank of America have set internal minimums, often significantly higher than legal requirements. So I'd ask you, Ashton, when you say companies aren't doing right by their employees, which companies are you speaking about? And if you mentioned Walmart, Walmart is one company. Granted, it's a large one, but I often find that when we hear about these arguments, they use one major company as the example, saying it applies to every single business in the United States.
Walmart is the largest private employer in the United States. I think it's a great example.
Great. Yeah, but is it indicative of every single business in the United States? And I just gave you the stat that says it actually isn't, and that most companies do pay above the minimum wage. So they're actually already doing what you said.
So I just
talking about. That is not new.
In which states? Is it broken down by states?
Brother, you know how to ride horses. You pull the reins way back. Woo! So that's what I got to do. You pull your way back. Woo! Ow! At the end of the day, though, brother, the wages that these companies are offering, they are not meeting the demand of today. What is a 50-cent raise? Oh my God, I got 50 cents to $1. What in the hell? You cannot make it on that, brother. That's what I'm talking about. You can't, even if you're getting $15 an hour in some states, you barely can keep your head above water, right? Yeah, companies are doling out, but they're not doling out enough, again, to meet the demand and wages that people live on today. Bread is not 75 cents. Gas is not a quarter. So companies need to come up, right, and meet the demand. The federal government, same thing. If it's a minimum wage, then they should come up and require a higher wage. That's how you bring that stuff up to standard, man. You require certain things within the law combined with privates and stuff. Look, I deal with the poor all the time. And a lot of these people said, if I could just get my wages up, then I may not have to end up in your line. I see over 5,000 people or more. You know what I mean? So it's a lot. And these people, they tell you the truth. They're not out here just to tell you anything. There are people hurting, and they're hurting because the wages are not meeting the requirements of today. I'm dead serious when I say this, because I talk to these people. You should get out here, man, before you sit up here and say, I'm saying stuff about Walmart and this and that. Why don't you get your butt to a food bank in places where the poor actually go, or slide your butt down the skid row? Walk down there. Not get in your car and look out. You need to go walk down there and talk to the poor and the homeless. I bet you they'll sit up there and tell you another story before you come at me. I'm just telling you, wages are hurting too.
I'm not coming at you. And I believe that you're doing good work, and I believe that your perspective. I believe your perspective. All I'm saying, it's not the only one. And certainly, if we're going to have a discussion and we're going to set public policy based on data we're getting, I would hope that data is accurate, and I hope that data is driven by reality and not hyperbole and not hyperbolic statements about, well, Walmart is not paying enough. Therefore, let's assume that every single company is not paying enough, and therefore let's set public policy based on Walmart. I don't think we can do that.
I'm not just saying Walmart. I said a conglomerate. I said all these large companies.
Yeah, but I just
large.
Okay, and I
Brother,
just
how can
gave
you be
you
a
a stat.
70-year-old lady working at Walmart? Something is not right. Brother, people are standing in my line and they come to this church and they say, we need your help because we need help paying the lights, water, gas. Do you know how much money that we've spent to make sure people have food, water, and gas? You know what 155,000 pounds of food looks like when people are asking and begging for that assistance? That is a big deal. And at the end of the day, brother, we know the poorest and those among us, they need help. And when I say that companies are not doing a good job, you cannot sit here and have to work 2 jobs to make it in America. When I do the average, brother, I got 70, 80 years worth of records that I can go back and go pull up from what wages were. Our church kept records of all this stuff. So, I mean, go in that old library and go pull some books out. But even those books show the wages even going way back, brother. And even then, wages barely kept up with the standard of living back then. So, man, I'm just telling you what the math is. And even today, our standard of living, the wages are not keeping up. And there has to be a way to make sure that happens. Right now, it's not. You're in Texas, you're making, who wants to live on $7 an hour? Though we know some companies in the state pay more. I'm just telling you, when I do the statistics, I'm going to go pull those 70 years worth of records. And I'm not saying this just because it's some political stuff. I go to those records and I lean on those records because the church and the city keeps these records, and that's what I go on, brother. I'm not going by how I feel or, oh my God, I'm going by what the need is, and that's what I see in our numbers.
I know, and I want to point out that I have not argued with your numbers. I've not argued or I've not disputed what people are telling you. I'm not arguing with that at all. Okay? Let's be clear. What I'm talking about is there's part of a narrative that you are stating that is separate from what you're talking about, but I understand why you say that. And that narrative is not correct. Now, I agree there are issues, and the fact that you're working with the church, I would say, I'm going to guess that you're religious in some way. Would I be correct in that?
A picture of Black Jesus, right? I have him on the page. So that
Jesus Christ. Good. I never make assumptions. You know, well, I never make assumptions. So then you've heard, give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, he'll eat the rest of his life, if I'm saying it correctly. I don't know that we are teaching people how to fish. I think we've spent a very long time giving people fish, but I don't know that we're teaching them how to fish.
Dude, we don't just give them fish. We make sure that those who want to go to college, they talk about the endowment fund and those kinds of things. So we do try to, but it's only one of us, and we work with secular businesses and all that. What I'm saying is when we work with secular religion and all of this combined, we see everything from a big lens. You know, my pastor said we have to think in the most massive way possible because so many people were counting on us. When food stamps happened, we went from feeding 2,800 people, right, per day. And we ballooned to well close to right about 5,100, right, ballooning, right. And so then you the money that is going to do that, you go from $875,000 to over $1 million, okay, to feed people. And these are hard numbers. This is not a political Republican. It's none of that. These are numbers. and is what is the problem. And we continue to be there, not just to, show people how to fish, but to make sure that they can be stable and stabilized during times maybe when the government cuts them off. We never knew that many people would come seeking our help after the food stamps got obliterated by the Republican Party. When I say they're not doing anything, that's what I mean. They need to do the right things to try to feed the people who need their help the most. And they're not doing that when people are in stagflation. How does stagflation sound? Not fun.
Well, I sense Orlando wants to speak. I'll just close with this. I think the fact that you're involved with your church is great. And I think from a philosophical viewpoint, people may disagree with how I say this, but Republicans generally have always believed that private organizations are better suited to help and respond to the needs of the community. And I applaud you for being part of that. So from that perspective, you and I have no disagreement. Thank you.
Okay. Are any of the modes awake? Please don't mention their names.
If not, I mean, you know what to do.
We're to just finished her last glass of white Zinfandel about 30 minutes ago, so she's probably passed out.
Okay, well, we'll see everyone later. The room is over. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Neil.
Right.
If they would extend resources towards being compliant with Apple's terms and conditions. The blocking feature, for example. Like, you guys have all experienced the different, clown work that these people have done with the blocking feature. My boss is to not be able to interact with them. And, given many emails between
motherfucker, you're dude. You're not that guy, and no one in the fucking app thinks you're that guy.
There's a lot of people from WWE that want to go.
Because again, what do you want me to show you how you can produce from any few numbers? You can produce any other number just with random operation.
There you go. I posted the 23 Enigma.
Oh yeah. Well, don't look at that. Don't click on that. You might lose your mind. You might turn into cynic, bro. Just read the comments. Say no to drugs. You're a decent, healthy person. You're a decent, healthy kid. Say no to drugs.
I'm gonna look this up.
Oh my god, do you want to?
But it's a good question, man. Be honest, okay? How is it that the ratio was good?
It's better.
Like take the informations you have today, right? 13.8. How is it that it's a perfect ratio? 2 before 6.
Again, they didn't know
4.6 before 13.8. How?
They didn't know anything about 13.8. You do, so you're just taking that number. And
no, I'm sorry. How can you? No. I'm not gonna listen to this motherfucker argue unless it is the fucking end. You better fucking start reverse engineering, motherfucker. No one talks about this. I looked. There is no book outside of these texts that says or talks. None of the ancients made this age claim. No one made the Earth universe claim. No one. No one in clear digits.
See, here's the thing: is 23 is the most significant number. It means everything, and 5 is 23 because 2 plus 3 is 5, right? But 8, right, is 5 and 3.
Okay, so he got lucky. So he got lucky. So he just got lucky. He just got. Okay, I understand. That's a fair assessment. See, all you had to do was acknowledge the data. See, all you had to do was acknowledge the data.
Right.
Mute his ass.
There you go. See.
No. I ain't tripping over what she's saying. She's saying, okay, he got lucky. He had some sort of algorithm in his mind when he hit on this.
You hear that, guys?
All right. No problem. No problem.
I can
But
open
you can't deny. Hey, motherfucker. You can't. Don't start that.
I just pointed out to you, right, that the
You got
actual
lucky.
age of the universe is actually in question now because we have new data from the James Webb
Okay,
telescope.
we'll see.
Seriously,
We'll see. We always get news like that. We always get news. No, that doesn't change anything that we know about the Big Bang or the background radiation. No, that still gives us the age of the expansion. That's not going to change anything. It's just going to change what we know about the universe, the expanse, which is whatever, the over 30 billion or 40 billion years.
Not your dad. I feel like such a...
Or 90, I'm sorry. I think it was even bigger than that. So that's not the age of the expansion. That's the light years.
Light years is not even a unit of time. It's a unit of distance, bro. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, that's what we would say. In the universe, what we can see of the universe is over, 50, 60 billion?
No, what we've been able to map of the CMB is the gives us that, right? But that's just the visible universe. And as the visible universe grows for us, right, suddenly the age of the universe calculation becomes different.
That hasn't been confirmed.
Hey,
we'll see where that goes and what that information.
You want to see Harry Potter get lucky? I can open a Harry Potter book right now.
I already know what luck is. You don't need to explain to me luck. It's okay. I played RPGs. I know what luck is. It's fine. Holy shit, motherfucker. Like, what do you think? I'm from fucking Mars? I don't know what fucking basic human concepts are. Like, Jesus, why does everybody fucking think we're in third grade? Jeez.
You need to go back.
No, there you go, trying to talk shit when you're a fucking big grown man. Like, stop. Leave this whole 11. We're not in middle school, dude. We're not in middle school.
And combine them to get your birthday. Therefore, Harry Potter predicted the existence of sin. You fucking retard.
Oh my god. All I wanted you to do is to acknowledge that the data does match.
Can you acknowledge?
And if you wanna justify the matching as luck, I did not say. Listen. Oh my god, he's gonna go back to. He's just gotta talk. It's like he's gotta squeeze the shit out. Like he's gotta do it. Like, bro, you can't have a high intellectual conversation. This is what happens when you major in math. This is literally what. This is why they warned you, by the way.
Harry Potter is about as real, like, in terms of, like, what it's talking about, the metaphysics, what it's talking, as the Quran or the Bible. They're equally real. I.e., both fiction.
Amazing. You got that out of your system.
I'm talking to somebody in the comments.
Yes, you just gotta keep it.
Yo, CM, show us how the Quran has the speed of light, dude.
I forget. I have to look up the website.
If only you had the data, and you would be able to present it, and then you present the argument that, listen, I'm gonna falsify it. It would be cool. Like, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna be honest.
Type into Google Quran predicting the speed of light. You'll find websites of like these Dawa fucking losers. Just again, they know what the speed of light is. The 300 million meters per second. They know what it is. They know the number they're supposed to.
No, because you said this. I had maybe I know what they're referencing, but I don't know if that's that precise.
Again, they don't. The fact that we know today, they definitely didn't know what this number was in the fucking 6th century. They know the number you're supposed to get.
No, but CM, you have to grant numbers for the Quran. In order for you to understand what we're trying to say,
way to produce that,
you'll have to grant what the Quran says.
It's a retrodiction. It's not.
In order for you to compare it, you'll have to grant what the Quran says. If the Quran says, listen,
if you can do it with Harry Potter,
one moment.
What the fuck is the point? You're gonna
but Harry Potter does not talk.
Got lucky again.
No, Harry Potter does not say.
It cannot be this dumb.
Does not say, for example, the universe.
Fucking this dumb.
No, listen. the Harry Potter does not say the creation story. Here it is, and it's in X amount of, like, that's the unit. It doesn't give you the unit for creation itself. The Quran does. So you'll have to grant the benefit of the doubt, listen to what it says, and compare. Now, if you compare, for example, the Earth, which was a unit of 2, versus a unit of 6, that's the whole creation, that's something interesting, that you have an information here. Compare it with what we have today, and you judge. Like, you tell us, what do you think?
I get it, man. CM thinks he's too smart because he figured out how to do some neat tricks with some numbers.
That's what you guys are impressed by right now. Like straight just reverse engineering a number from other numbers. God.
No, dude, we got it. We got it from luck. We got it from fucking luck. We got it from fucking luck. We got it from luck. As long as you acknowledge that the data does match, that's all you had to say. Everything else was just fucking you blabbering your fucking mouth for no reason. You fucking retard. I'm fucking educated. Don't need your fucking ass to remind me. Oh, what I'm
You should go watch some tarot card reader videos on YouTube.
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit.
Like, ultimate example of
you cannot deny the data matches. You think I can't spank you with a few more things, and there's going to be the increase of it's going to increase the probability of this. Yeah, by the way, there must be a clearer reason than luck. No one fucking hits 7, 8, 9 times. I mean, I can prove to you that you have to be an idiot not to see it, really. But if it needs to be proven, it can be easily proven that the Quran has the understanding of algebra, and it is showing not only algorithms, not only is it showing sequences, series, and not only is it have a system, the whole inheritance system that does rely on algebra, and it is, and honestly, how it is, 100%. Oh my God! So when you have here, basic algebra, dumbass. When you have A plus B equals C, and I have 2A plus 3B equals 2C. How do I find A and B and C?
I'll show you.
What would I start doing?
If X is a success in life, then X must equal.
Oh, here we go. Here he goes. Here we go. We don't go and add on both sides. We don't go and start adding all the equations. Yeah, you have to start adding all the equations. So there you go. So when you're not gonna get that plus 1 or over 1. That's just you adding 1 or minus 1 or minus or negative on each side of the equation. That's all that's happening. You already do this. That's literally what generated algebra. That is why algebra literally shows up right after Islam, like a century after. What Khawarizmi did was literally just standardize. Motherfucker, listen, just literally, he was commissioned by the Khalifa to standardize the inheritance system because it was already operating, and it was going into the Ajam, the world of the Ajam, or the non-Arabs or the non-speaking Arab world, and he wanted a standardized system for this, and he commissioned him for this, and that's why he did it. It was already operational. Muhammad taught them how to do it. They were already doing it, and by the time people were confused about it, and there needed to be some, standardized textbook. And that's all that's happened. It has algebra, that whole plus and minus, adding both, to both sides of the equation, or adding multiple equations to one another to get, to get rid of some of the variables, to find some variables, basic algebra shit. That's all in the Quran. But now, that's not the big deal. The big deal here is all the different variables and conditionals all together, along with those ratios. Now, could I have made those ratios up? So there are at least three.
Can't take it anymore. We're going to go back to some music. We have scraped the bottom of the barrel. We have, in my opinion, completely and totally taken out everything of any value to Clown House today. Today was like that.
Technical labors of the liberals, subfigured all of fear. Trace liberals, subfigured all of fear. Side bar, mezzalata, liberals, subfigured all of fear. Concordance, liberals, subfigured all of fear. Alistair Crowley, liberals, subfigured all of fear. Liberals, subfigured all of the law of the strong. This is our law and the joy of the world. To be the whole of the law. Thou hast no right but to do thy will. Do that and no other shall say now. Every man and every woman is a star. There is no God.
About whatever you guys do, I'm married. I don't want to
shit.
Attention, chillism! This room has been going on non-stop for 24 hours for 4 years. Hello? Hello? It kicked. Why did she kick?
Bro.
Okay.
Right.
Why did it kick?
It's a that need to leave the room is not no thing to the young machine.
To do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he will, to man as right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth. Free man has the right to think what he will, to speak what he will, to write what he will, to draw, paint, carve, etch, mold, build as he will, to dress as he will. For man has the right to love as he will. Take your fill and will of love as ye will. When, where, and with whom ye will. When, where, and with whom ye will. Five men has the right to kill those who would thwart these rights. Slaves shall serve. Love is the law. Love under will. All life it be said. You are here on the library of Alistair Crowley. Technical livers of the liberals. Subfigure olive feet. Trace liberals, subfigure olivia. Cider bar, mezzanata, Alistair Crowley, livers, liberals, subfigure olivia. Concordance, Alistair Crowley, livers, liberals, subfigure olivia. Alistair Crowley, liberals, liberals, along the strong. The Jesus is our Lord and the joy of the world. You are here, the Libri of Alistair Crowley, technical labors of the Lema Liberosa, figura la trace a liberosa, figura la sidebar, metadata, Alistair Crowley livers, liberosa, figura la concordance, Alistair Crowley livers, liberosa, figura la Alistair Crowley livers, liberosa, figura la liberosa, figura livi, liberosa, figura livi. The law of the strong, this is our law, and the joy of the world. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. I 40. Thou hast no right but to do thy will, do that and no other shall say nay. Every man and every woman is a star. I 3. There is no God but man. One man has the right to live by his own law, to live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he will. Man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth. 3, man has the right to think what he will, to speak what he will, to write what he will, to draw, paint, carve, etch, mold, build as he will, to dress as he will. For man has the right to love as he will, take your fill and will of love as he will, when, where, and with whom he will. All I 51. 5, man has the right to kill those who would thwart these rights. The slave shall serve. Love is the law, love under will, I 57. You are here on the Libri of Alistair Crowley, technical libers of Bella Liberosa, figura of the eye. Trace a Liberosa, figura of the eye. Sidebar, metadata, Alistair Crowley livers, liberosa, figura of the eye. Concordance, Alistair Crowley livers, liberosa, figura of the eye. Alistair Crowley livers, liberosa, figura of the eye. Liberosa, figura of the eye. Liberosa, figura of the eye. The law of the strong, this is our law, and the joy of the world. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. I 40. Thou hast no right but to do thy will, do that and no other shall say nay. Every man and every woman is a star. I 3. There is no God but man. One man has the right to live by his own law, to live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he will. 2, man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth. 3, man has the right to think what he will, to speak what he will, to write what he will, to draw, paint, carve, etch, mold, build as he will, to dress as he will. For man has the right to love as he will, take your fill and will of love as you will, when, where, and with whom you will. I 51. 5, man has the right to kill those who would thwart these rights. The slave shall serve. Love is the law.